Hey everyone, my name is Tom. Thank you so much for tuning in to Acting Up Ministries. I'm super excited because today we are introducing a brand new thing we're doing on the channel, so let's get right into it. So what we're doing today, guys, and what we're going to be doing basically for the rest of this month is I'm going to be trying to do one video a day, right? So I got this idea. The more you upload on YouTube, obviously, the more people can see your uploads. And as well, I just kind of want to upload more, right? So the problem I've always had with uploading more is the content that I kind of did was more of like a study the topic, figure it out, and then upload. But I realized, what if I do this? What if I go through a book of the Bible chapter by chapter every day? So every day I do one chapter of one book of the Bible. So today we're going to be starting with the book of Luke. This episode's going to be an introduction to it. And then tomorrow, chapter 1 will be done, then chapter 2 the next day. And we'll do this all the way till we get through Luke. My goal is to try this just with the book of Luke. See if you guys like it. See if it seems like it's working. And if it is, and you guys like it, we'll go to the next book. Probably Acts, because Acts has the same authorship. But today we're going to start with the book of Luke, and we're going to start with an introduction to the book of Luke, just talking about some basic stuff to know before we even start talking about it. These videos aren't planned to be long. They should be maybe a couple minutes. So it should be something you'd be able to watch in like maybe 5 minutes at the most, and then go on with your day. So let's start with introduction to the book of Luke. So who's the author of the book of Luke? Well, Luke is believed traditionally to be the author, and most people would hold that Luke is the author. Luke was a Greek Gentile, and his profession was a doctor. There's a lot more. Some people believe he was also a historian as well, but his main profession is a doctor. Luke also was not an apostle, nor was around Jesus during his earthly ministry, right? So Luke was believed to be born around the same time as Paul and Jesus, but was not believed to be involved at all in Jesus's ministry. Maybe he heard of Jesus, but he was not involved directly with Jesus's earthly ministry. So this makes him unique, and his gospel really unique, because he's an outsider writing about the life of Christ. So he was not somebody who directly experienced Christ's life, kind of like Paul was. You know, Paul was an outsider as well. But Paul wasn't trying to recount the life of Jesus. This is Luke compiling information that he has about the life of Christ and then writing it into a gospel. So what we see is somebody who's hyper intelligent because he was a doctor, and we also see somebody who wasn't directly involved, so a secondary source compiling sources about Christ's life, writing together a gospel, and we call that gospel the book of Luke. Place and date. The place of writing is unknown, so we really don't know where Luke wrote the gospel. As well, the time of the writing could be around, they say, 60 AD. And when we say time of writing, we mean the original writing. We don't have an original manuscript, but we mean when did Luke originally most likely write his gospel? We say around 60 AD. How did Luke get his info? Luke had access to other early written records of Jesus' life and ministry, and we see that in Luke 1 through 2. The other thought would be as well, he traveled with Paul. So talking to Paul and whatever, because Paul did interact with the apostles. So Luke would have had connections back to the apostles, back to other writings, back to other people. So most of Luke's information was basically asking people who were around Jesus, what was Jesus like and what happened. So again, that's what makes Luke's gospel recount unique. It's not somebody directly who was with Jesus. Rather, it was somebody who kind of interviewed people who were with Jesus and got a secondhand account. We also know that Luke was a very staunch historian just by how he compiles his books. So we know that he would have been meticulous in his compilation of the gospel. Audience. Luke 1 through 3, Theophilus is the main recipient, but people that were attracted to his book were generally Greeks. The reasoning for this is believed that Luke's book was very well written and very well just crafted. So the Greeks, who were very much scholarly people, would have been attracted to this book. Luke seemed to have all of mankind in mind, though, when writing this gospel, as we see the title Son of Man used. Also, interestingly, he traces the line of Jesus back to Adam, not just Abraham. So that also kind of shows us that the focus wasn't just talking to Jews, it was talking to everyone. If he was just talking to Jews, Abraham would have been enough. But if he wants to talk to everyone, it's interesting that he goes all the way back to the first man, Adam. What was the purpose of the book? Let's see what Luke says the purpose of his gospel was himself. In Luke 1 through 4, Luke says, "Inasmuch as many have undertaken to compile a narrative of the things that have been accomplished among us, just as those who from the beginning were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word have delivered them to us, it seemed good to me also, having followed all things closely for some time past, to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, that you may have certainty concerning the things that you have been taught." So Luke desired to write an orderly account of the things that happened. So remember, when we said Luke was most likely a historian, Luke's goal was to write an orderly, well-researched account of the life and ministry of Christ while he was on earth. He also wanted to help Theophilus have certainty in what he heard. So we can assume Theophilus was a Christian, right? Because that you may have certainty of things that you've been taught. So we can assume that Theophilus was a Christian that had been taught about Christ, and Luke was writing to Theophilus the story of Christ and the life of Christ's ministry to give him certainty. So Luke was a very intelligent man and well-studied, so we can expect an interesting read on Jesus that's detailed. And as we read this gospel, let's remember what Luke intended for the gospel to show: a well-detailed, orderly, comforting account of Christ. Well-detailed and orderly, as Luke was a very detailed and orderly historical man, and comforting, as the goal of this was to bring Theophilus certainty on what he had learned. So as we go into the book of Luke this month daily, guys, chapter by chapter, let's remember that Luke was an intelligent man writing a well-orderly, comforting narrative about Jesus' life that was well-researched, but also were secondhand accounts from Luke researching what people who were there would have said. So guys, I'm super excited to do this series. If you're hyped about it as well, please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, so that we can get this series out there. I love all of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Luke chapter 1, where we're going to talk about a bunch of cool stuff with that. Have a good one, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.